Your miracle might involve something to do with our relationships, manifesting prosperity, getting the right job, losing the one you've got, getting the right partner, getting rid of the one you have, moving, raising your talent level, getting the right connection, maybe to sort of get a picture. And the first of these three things was this paradigm for miracle making I call banish the doubt. That's Roman numeral 1. Even if you're not writing, you're listening on tape. Banish the doubt. Most of us have been raised in doubt. Most of us have been raised to believe in what we can't accomplish. In order to be able to get to the stage of creating for ourselves this area that I call real magic, you have to get rid of the doubt that it's possible for you. This I spend the most time on because it is the most difficult for us. Somehow we haven't got within us this knowing that we are divine, that we are capable, and that we can create for ourselves virtually anything that we want to. You see, there are two parts to this physical journey. Obviously, there's the physical part which was handled for you in an instant. In one split second, 1 microsecond, 1 drop of human protoplasm collided with another. And everything you needed for this physical journey was handed to you. It's just like, and there you are, out of something, out of nothingness. Your life is what I call a parenthesis in eternity. It opens parenthesis at the instant of your conception, and it closes parenthesis at your death. It's surrounded by eternity. When your life opens parenthesis, everything that you needed in that tiny little microsecond was handled for you. And then there's the part of you that has been watching this whole journey. There's the I. I heard someone saying in an airport the other day that someone bumped up to them and he said, "Watch out, that's my arm here." And I stopped to think about that, and I wondered, now whose arm is that really? I mean, if you say, "This is my body," whose body is it? I mean, are you your body, or are you the owner of this body? Were you the observer of this body? There's this guy's like I have the sentence I was saying to myself, well, there's two people in that sentence. There's the I who is saying, and then there's the physical who is the self. So I am speaking here today in terms of creating miracles about the I, the owner, the observer, that invisibleness that is inside this physical package, this ghost in the machine that you can never escape. You see, when the moment before you die, you close parenthesis. If they were to just come in and bring in a big scale like this cosmic scale, you don't put everybody on it just before they weigh you, and then an instant after you die, then they weigh you again. Now here's you when you're alive, and it weighs 150 pounds. And here's when you're gone, it weighs, say, always 150 pounds. But it's not you. I mean, it's just something that they're going to burn or they're going to bury. It's going to be worm food. I mean, they wouldn't treat you that way. It wouldn't burn you with them. And there's laws against that. So who you are, I mean, what it is that constitutes your very light is weightless. I can't weigh it. You can't see it. You can't touch it. You can't get a hold of it like you can go in and do an autopsy on anyone. And you can find the command center inside of you that says, I think I'll wiggle my finger. You say, I'm going to work on my finger. And you ask, where's the command center that allows that to happen? And you cut open the brain and you look in the nervous system and you find the cortex and you find the cerebellum and you look for the synapses and the neurons and the connectors and you say, this is that. And the scientists are pretty sure about this. This is it. This is the command center that says where this is all allowed to take place, where you do all of your thinking. But there's no autopsy on this planet that can ever reveal the commander in the command center who says, I think I'm going to wiggle my finger. Well, this is my arm. Well, this is my life. Or I think I'd like to have a miracle. That part of you, which is the part of you that creates your entire life, is the part where the doubt is. Banishing the doubt really means coming to a full and complete awareness. You are not a human being having a spiritual experience, but indeed it's the other way around. Every single one of us are spiritual beings having a human experience. The quality of that human experience in the physical world is dependent exclusively upon how we connect with and use that invisible part of ourselves. That part you cannot find in an autopsy. That part you cannot weigh. That invisible no soul is always with you. That is the observer. You've got to get really comfortable with this observer. You've got to understand the 7 words, I think, that were most important ever strung together. They came out of Proverbs in the Old Testament. As you think, so shall you be. As you think, so shall you be. Now, it doesn't say, as you be, so shall you think, even though that's how most of us run our lives. Those words are really all crucial because once you get it and understand that what you think about is what expands, as you think, so shall you be, is what rules the universe. Once you know it, not just believe it, but once you know it, then you start getting real careful about what you think about. Real careful, because all of those thoughts, all of those doubts are the things that will manifest themselves into your life. Now it's a real simple matter to shift around and begin to pay attention. First to the spirit, the invisible side of you. Secondly, to the physical part of it. Most of us don't do that. It's such a simple matter. I can give you just a real brief example of how it works. Most of us are as you be, so shall you think kinds of people, so that when things happen to us in the physical world, whatever they may be, we allow our inner world to be affected by them. Between my office and my home, it's a 17-mile drive that I make every day, twice a day. There was a time when I would get in my car when I wasn't an as you be, so shall you think kind of person, when I didn't understand the simple work that James Allen wrote in the last century when he said, circumstances do not make a man, they reveal him. The circumstances of our life reveal the kinds of choices that we've been making. I used to get in my car and drive to my home, and depending on how the traffic went, or whether there was construction, or whether there were delays, or whether there were difficulties or struggles or problems, I would then allow my mood at home to be determined by that. Then I learned how to shift that. First, I began to visualize in my mind what it is that I wanted this trip to be like for myself. I do this every day now. Before I get in the car, I get a picture of how it's going to be in the next half an hour. Very peaceful. It takes me about a minute and a half. 2 or 3 deep breaths. It's going to be a peaceful, wonderful trip home. I'm not going through any yellow lights. The little lady who drives that 1977 Cadillac in the left-hand lane, she's had the seat removed from her car. She sits on the floorboard, and you can just see this little head sitting up there. She has signed an oath to drive around aimlessly to delay me. She's in divine order. She's exactly where she belongs. I'm going to bless her today instead of being mad at her. I'm going to understand that this is a perfect universe and that it's all in order. I don't have to rush. If there's construction, it's supposed to be there. There are no accidents. I'm going to take my time and be very peaceful. As you think, so shall you be. Then I get in the car, and there she is, sure enough, 2 miles from the house. Then I wave and thank her for being here. If I were to try to go around her like I used to, I would probably have a head-on collision. There's an officer there to give me a traffic ticket or whatever. I bless her for being there. I get home and I don't go through any yellow lights. I don't rush, don't change lanes, very peaceful. Then I get home at the same time every day.